Welcome back to the channel. Aaron here from the Bitcoin Bros. And there's been a lot of news that has came out today. Going to be trying to get through all of it. Updates on strategy, Metaplanet, ALTBG, some other Bitcoin treasury companies, and some more. Just huge Bitcoin news. I recommend you watch all the way to the end. Let's go ahead and jump into it because there's a lot to cover here today. Strategy bought another 1,000 Bitcoin for around $110 million. And we can see right here, they didn't use the MSTR ATM. They used the STRK ATM and the STRF ATM, and they got around $112 million from both of those vehicles. So it's good to see these vehicles continue to grow, more money flowing into these as these products continue to stay around for longer, and as they get more confidence from the market, we'll have more money coming in through both of these vehicles. And we have the STRD IPO, $1 billion that was closed. That will probably be bought up this week from Strategy. So be watching out for Strategy to have a plus $1 billion Bitcoin buy next Monday because of the STRD IPO. So some potential big buys coming from Strategy. And we can see here Bitcoin is up around 2% today at around 107.7. Strategy at the time of this recording is at 385, up around 3% today. So good to see Strategy having some decent gains there. And at the time of this recording, it's still good to see that the most actively traded US stocks, MicroStrategy, is still up here with some of the biggest companies in the world. So that's always good to see from Strategy. And if we look at where they rank on the top market cap companies in the US, we can see they're at 95. They dropped one spot today, where they're trading around 384. And this is really important for the S&P inclusion, which could come in Q3, which would give them a huge allocation of funds to then go buy more Bitcoin. That'll be huge for the entire market if that happens. One thing we have to watch is the Bitcoin price. If we can end June on a good note for Bitcoin, Strategy is probably going to qualify for the S&P 500, and then we'll see them get those allocations that they can go use to buy Bitcoin. So we just need to make sure Bitcoin has a good June and we'll be okay. Getting into Metaplanet here, they are currently the 10th largest Bitcoin holder among public companies. A week ago, they were 11th. In 4 to 5 weeks, they'll be 5. Why is he saying this? Because Metaplanet updated their BTC target. By 2027, they want 210,000 Bitcoin. And if you look at where they've updated from, they want 30,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. So that's about 3x where they are at right now. So Metaplanet is trying to accumulate a massive amount of Bitcoin in a short amount of time. Metaplanet has performed very well, and we may continue to see some gains for Metaplanet going through the rest of the year if they do achieve all the targets that they have set out here. And an update here from French company, the Blockchain Group. They're going to be raising 300 million euros to buy more Bitcoin in an ATM type vehicle called Toban. So to talk a little bit about the Blockchain Group here, we have an interview that's coming out tomorrow with the CEO of the Blockchain Group, where he talks about why the Blockchain Group has performed so well, what their goals are for the future. I recommend you guys check out that interview tomorrow. He talked about a lot of good points on why ALTBG is potentially going to be a massive Bitcoin accumulator. And also tomorrow on June 10th, the vote closes for their capital raising capacity to more than 10 billion euros to accelerate its Bitcoin treasury company. So shareholders have voted on this. This is probably going to pass, but this is going to allow the Blockchain Group to have a lot more capacity to raise a lot more money to buy Bitcoin. And this could happen very fast. And I recommend you guys watch the interview that comes out tomorrow on our channel, where Alexandre talks about how the Blockchain Group could accumulate a lot of Bitcoin at a very fast pace. And you can see here over the past 6 months, they're up 1,400%. This could be the next Metaplanet type mover. And when you look at the Blockchain Group and you look at Metaplanet and you compare them side by side, the Blockchain Group has been accumulating Bitcoin at the rate of Metaplanet, and the performance of the stock looks very similar to Metaplanet, but Metaplanet obviously started before the blockchain group, so that's why Metaplanet has been the bigger mover so far. But this could be a big company. This is not financial advice, guys, but this is one you should definitely be looking into. And then H100 Group secures another 28.4 million in SEC in convertible loan and share issuance to accelerate their Bitcoin strategy and strategic operational activities. So they're going to be raising some more money to buy Bitcoin. Definitely good to see there from H100 Group. And now with both of these companies, H100 Group and ALTBG, they're both backed by Adam Back, who could very well be Satoshi. A lot of people think that Adam Back is Satoshi. And you can see this post here from Vincent. He says, I said this last year, only 1% of people understand Bitcoin. Only 1% of people understand MSTR. Now I'm saying this, only 1% of the MSTR investors understand Metaplanet. We are the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. Adam Back replies and says, what about ALTBG? Are the 1% of the 1% of the 1% understanding it too? The blockchain group's BTC basis convertible is innovative and allows non-liquidation risk, extremely high debt, as they can just give the BTC back if it fails to reach the conversion premium within the years. So watch that interview tomorrow, and you can see Ragnar responds, probably true that 1% of Metaplanet investors understand ALTBG, so we're the 1% of the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. And then Adam Back responds and says, eventually that's going to translate the 1% of the 1% of the 1% of the 1% in ALTBG and 1% of that in the H100 Group. This is the company that Adam is also backing, helping them raise Bitcoin. So check out H100 Group. They're very early on their journey, and they just raised another 28.4 million in SEC to buy more Bitcoin. So H100 Group is a company you guys got to make sure to check out as well. Like I said, they're just getting started, looking very similar to ALTBG when they started, up 200% here since about the May timeframe. So make sure to check out H100. And then you have KULR. They recently acquired 118.6 Bitcoin for 13 million at around $107,000 per Bitcoin. Their BTC yield to date is 260% year to date. And KULR, they're going to be raising $300 million to buy more Bitcoin. They are racing to 1,000 BTC. So this is another company you guys got to check out. KULR, they have been accumulating Bitcoin at a massive rate. This is an American company, so make sure to check out KULR. And then we have fashion brand ANAP, previously purchased 102.9 Bitcoin. They go into full Bitcoin treasury strategy mode and aim for 1,000 Bitcoin by August 2025. Right now, they have a total of 687 Bitcoin, and they are a Japanese company. So make sure to check out ANAP. You can see over the past 6 months, ANAP is up 168%. So all these Bitcoin treasury strategy companies have been doing very well as of late, up hundreds of percents, if not thousands of percents over the past couple of months. And then we have a Bitcoin miner, Bitmine Immersion. They bought their first 100 Bitcoin after their recent stock offering. Good to see there some Bitcoin miners having a long-term HODL mindset. And with these Bitcoin miners, a lot of people talk about that 450 Bitcoin that gets mined every single day. But with a lot of these Bitcoin miners, a lot of them are holding the Bitcoin that they're mining and they're not selling it back out into the market. So that 450 Bitcoin that gets produced every single day from the miners is probably actually a lot lower than that, because a lot of these miners are now not selling a lot of their Bitcoin. And then another company, a publicly traded British company, Anemo, announces it will invest 30% of its cash into Bitcoin. Another public company with conviction, really good to see. And I asked ChatGPT how much Anemo actually has in cash, around 1.2 million in cash. So that'd be a $400,000 buy from Anemo. So another company that believes in Bitcoin, definitely good to see there. And then to end it off, BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF IBIT just became the fastest ETF to reach $70 billion in assets under management. It reached the milestone 5 times faster than gold. Bitcoin is the hardest asset on the planet, and people are really starting to understand that. You can see that with the Bitcoin ETF numbers, and now you're seeing it with all these companies. A lot of Bitcoin treasury companies that are buying BTC right now. And it seems like Bitcoin's price is going to have to respond to this and go up, because there will eventually be a supply shock if all these companies continue to buy more and more Bitcoin like they are planning to do. Now I have a clip of Cynthia Loomis that I want to share with you guys. If you found any value in all this content in today's video, make sure to like and subscribe. We have new content coming out every single day around Bitcoin strategy, Metaplanet, Bitcoin treasury companies, interviews. We have a lot of exciting videos coming out over the next week or so, so make sure to stay tuned for that. My name's Aaron from the Bitcoin Bros. I'm out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's go ahead and check out this clip here.
Have modeling that shows that Bitcoin is going to increase dramatically and then more slowly over time. All of the Bitcoin, meaning 99% of all the Bitcoin that will ever be mined, will be mined in the next 10 years. So this asset has growth potential for the next 10 years that's tremendous. I think the American people should admire the fact that President Trump was foresightful enough to engage in the digital economy. Everyone is going to be involved in this economy in one way or another. And I'm proud of the president for choosing to engage in this very promising component of the economy.